Hey, fellas.
Hey, Brett. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too. What a great year it's been so far, huh?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Really?
Still?
I got the COVID. I got a rebound COVID.
So you didn't have it when you were in Vegas, but you got it again now?
Yeah, you can get it when they give you an antiviral. Some people will get a reoccurrence of it. It's not because I was in Vegas, because my immunity is shit.
Oh, right. That sucks.
So what happened?
I don't know. I came home. I thought I had COVID, but I tested negative, and I'm feeling better now. But
Yeah, we got to fix that mic. There's something up.
oh, it did this last time too. Hold on.
Oh, so you guys came back from a stand-up show in Vegas. You don't have COVID. You have hepatitis C. Congratulations.
Yeah, no, I got the cove. I came home with I had a fever, and
Okay, so far that's just a fever.
yeah, but I tested and I had the COVID, and then I went into I had trouble getting a hold of my doctor the next day. It was like, okay, I had this 2 weeks ago. I need the antivirals. I'll call first thing in the morning, and then it was all day. And I started making phone calls and messages and stuff that was like, Jesus, is this really what I want to say here? But anyway, it's just I put it down to COVID surliness, but I let a few people fucking, the one person who called, then it's like they didn't call back, and then I called, and then they go, well, we want to schedule you for an appointment. And then I was like, the big baby, and I smashed my head, and then I thought I'd hung up on them, and it's like 3 minutes of me banging around going, God damn assholes. So,
And they were on the line?
Yeah, I don't know if they were listening. I said, okay, I guess then if I can make it in tomorrow, by God, I'll be there or whatever. But if I'm fucking I was just being, I don't know, dramatic.
Wait. Okay, so the appointment they wanted to make for you was the next day?
Right, but I wanted
that. What time of day was this when you were talking?
Good question.
Was about this was about 4:30, 5 o'clock.
Hold on now. So you were fucking apoplectic because they wouldn't squeeze you in between 4:30
No,
and
well,
5?
I called at 8 when their phone lines come on. That was my big complaint. It's hey, man, I called that first in the morning because I was feeling pretty shitty, and I don't get a call back. I don't get anything.
So they gave you the runaround for the first 8 fucking hours, and then they told you they couldn't see you till the next day.
Right. Basically, the physician I wanted to see didn't want to give me the antivirals because he had to do some research on it or whatever. And then I get a hold of him. I go, well, you'll hear something after lunch. Okay, after lunch, and then anyway, I left you can leave message, and it's like, come on, first come for, it's just a bunch of baby shit. I felt bad about sending it or whatever, but I was full on Karen. I'm better today. I went and saw him, but then I saw him at 11, and my nurse, or the doctor who saw me, was Linda Loveless, not Love.
Oh,
I called her Lovelace. I go, thank you, doctor. And
wait, her name was
Loveless.
Linda Loveless.
Linda Loveless.
Oh my God!
And
that's brilliant.
I know. I was excited to go in there, kind of.
Oh, you think that Linda Lovelace, if she was alive, you think that would be the way she would change her name to like fly under the radar?
No one will ever know.
Yeah, so you can deep throat people when they come in to get COVID. Just sort of hoping.
Stuck the COVID out of you.
Yeah, so I got she said it's a rebound COVID. And if I don't get way sicker, I should get better. But without the antiviral. And then
I told you that.
That is the way it works.
This is the worst part of it. Is like, I thought on the way there, I should stop and get a sandwich to avoid the lunch crowd. this is before 11. No, it'll still be about 11:30. There won't be any fucking buddy there at the sandwich place. Nobody will, I get there and I fumbled my keys. I got out. I saw another fucking asshole, red-haired fucking hipster cunt face. I'm a fucking, whatever, man. And I dropped my keys and think, I would have just left my keys had I known he was headed into the fucking sandwich place like an asshole before lunch. And what does this asshole do?
Wait, 11:30 is before lunch?
It's not when
technically it's before the lunch rush.
Right, yeah.
But people will definitely I will go to a sandwich shop at 11:30,
right,
but not 11:45.
Right.
Because 11:45 is too close to the fucking people getting in there and jamming it up. You can't go in and out real quick. I understand what you're saying. But you were just gonna leave your keys if you
well, I mean, I didn't want to. No, nobody's gonna. I mean, I didn't want to.
One guy, Andy.
Yeah, and that's the one guy who shouldn't have been there. He had no fucking business. Why didn't you go get some fucking hipster? He's just fucking there. And he's just barely in front of me. And then
why didn't he? What about this guy? Made you think he didn't deserve a sandwich? What?
Fuck that guy.
He deserved a sandwich, but he had the why now? Why not?
Lunchtime.
He's an asshole. And he looked like
on him.
He didn't look like he had anything, but he should have.
His crime was wanting a sandwich at the same time Out-Andrist'd wanted a sandwich. How would anyone else want a sandwich at this time?
It's a bakery, so he could have been there for any number of things that would have been a quick transaction.
You're making my argument even stronger.
Murder him.
What this motherfucker does is he's like, he got a baked good, and then he goes, you know what? I think I'll have one of your sandwiches. Like that's what
he dilly-dallied.
Yeah, and then he goes, and then
I think the bakery slash customer service representative did their job in making it either appealing or upselling.
Well, it's like he had time to think about it, and he didn't think he didn't go there for a sandwich. He made up his mind. He goes, I'm behind him, and he goes, I'll have a turkey avocado sandwich, and that's what I was going to order. So now I got to feel like an asshole coming in behind him.
Your turkey avocado?
Yeah, same fucking sandwich, and there's only one guy who makes the fucking sandwiches, and then he's all fucking, happy, yammering to the lady and shit and talking to the sandwich guy. Like, don't fucking talk to the sandwich guy. He's making the sandwich and he cannot multitask.
At the end of this story, we find out Andy was standing in front of a mirror.
Yeah, the whole time.
No.
Eyeballing me?
He's a red-haired fucking hipster. And
don't talk about Sandwich Club.
Yeah, and then
First rule.
When he's waiting for his, and then I order mine, and I say, I'll have a avocado, and that guy turns around and smiles at me like I somehow he goes, yeah,
on the turkey
avocado. That was a little
bonding
thing.
Yeah. Like it's funny. I ordered the same, hold
on, Andy.
We're sandwich brothers.
In his mind, you copied him.
I know.
That's the whole point. Now I'm with you, Andy. You've won me over in this.
Yeah, this guy's.
Have you not bumbled your keys?
I would have been
the one joining the Out-Andrist'd club, and that's really how it should have been.
And I would have been 3 minutes quicker because I didn't have anything to say. I mean, I just wanted to grab my sandwich and not have any bullshit.
But also, the best part about your life, honestly, and I mean this with all respect, you have no reason to be in a hurry anywhere. Anytime.
I'm COVID.
I don't understand why you want to get high and just take your time. Take as much time at the sandwich shop as you can.
I would have trying to minimize his contact with people because he has COVID. He's trying to be a fucking diplomat.
And a lot of times,
about the COVID. You're right.
Yeah. I could have taken off my mask and said, "Isn't that cool? You got the same sandwich I did, brother. High five, Ginger." But I wanted to avoid people, and I want to avoid. As you can tell,
this restaurant had a drive-through.
I'm coming down from full on being surly, door slamming, fucking ranting at things. And at least now I know what's going on.
It was very interesting.
You have COVID again.
The amount of time that you saved, you admitted, was 3 minutes, or that you wasted.
Well, limiting the contact with the people is the key.
But you could have gone to Jimmy John's, and you got it without having to go.
Their bread's awful. And
their bread is fantastic.
Ugh.
Well, I don't get the bread one. I get the one without it. But I mean, you could go somewhere where you could order and it's waiting for you, contactless. You just
could have
walk
gone
in.
through a drive-through, dude.
Absolutely.
No,
In fact, I would argue that if you have COVID, it is your obligation to go through a drive-through, even if you have to get a fucking Jimmy John's.
I have an audible system.
Jimmy John's sandwich. It's your responsibility. It's up to you to limit your contact with other people, not them to not be involved in your world.
Yeah, I shouldn't even. I mean, I'm not supposed to even be out and about, but I had to go to the doctor and shit. Now I have an audible system. The Hawaiian time, very rarely, but if I'm just like, okay, cafe yum. If there's no line, there's like a Hawaiian time restaurant. I have like 3 or 4, and I'll drive by, and if there's other motherfuckers there, I'll just go to the next one and go, I guess I don't get a sandwich today. I'll have this, and I'm okay with that. But this day, like, I'm gonna get a sandwich. So I'll get it before the lunch crowd gets there, and fucking hipster walks in there and grabs a fucking spot in line that wasn't his.
Well,
he was twirling his keys on his finger. Did a little thing where he flipped him, caught him behind his back.
What he should have said is, I noticed you dropped your keys and you were second. I mean, I know the game, man. I'll do the same to other people. If I see anything, I'll pick up my pace. I'll wedge in front of them.
Yeah, you got Out-Andrist'd.
Yeah, by a fucking goddamn ginger.
By a ginger hipster.
The worst scenario. Out-Andrist'd by a ginger.
So I'm hopeful to not have any interaction with people till Sunday, and I should be all right.
You should have bought 6 sandwiches.
Yeah, think ahead now.
Well, the pilgrims
I'd like to quarantine, please.
The pilgrims are buying my food at the grocery store tomorrow.
The what?
Jovi. I mean, pilgrims. She got pilgrims to fill in for me. Because I would be doing the same shit at Trader Joe's, Market of Choice, and Capella's Market tomorrow.
Yeah,
Andy, you need to start shopping. You need to start shopping exclusively at those places like when Michael Jackson goes to Caesar's in the mall and they open it just for him.
Mm-hmm.
Like so you need to go there before. You need to make an arrangement. Look, I'm gonna buy X amount of sandwiches in a month.
Yeah.
Let me in before the hoi polloi. Then there's a fat tip in this for you.
Yeah.
I would like to get a robot that goes to the store and just pulls my shit out. I can, see it at home and go that.
Let's talk about the turkey avocado. Is that
delicious
your go-to? Did you think about maybe getting a different sandwich?
No.
This as an opportunity to try something else on the menu because you don't want to fucking.
I never
following this.
I'm not somebody who tries other stuff on the menu. If it's something, I've had a sandwich there. It was good. That's the sandwich.
And you got to get away from the avocado on a sandwich. It just squishes out all over the place, especially when it's like this, when it slices. That's not the way to go. If you want to do it, you go with a spread, or just don't do it at all. Don't
do it at all,
or just mash it down right away and turn it into a spread.
Yes,
I just flipped it over. That's
going to end up falling out in your lap, and
you don't want to sit not while you're traveling or whatever with the avocado. Damn.
No,
that's a problem. But it's just like one side's kind of fucked. But I only eat one piece of bread.
Chaille, I think you just identified the thing, and this is why he has to get avocado on every sandwich, because that chunk of avocado that falls out of the sandwich into his lap while he's driving and trying to make a left is going to be the next hour of this podcast. I mean,
right. Forget what I just said.
How could he have driven over that fire hydrant if the avocado?
Eating while driving is for pigs. I mean, I was 4 minutes away from my house. If I would have had to jam some food in my face, and I might as well just fucking get the diabetes and start sawing off limbs.
It's a very
Your Honor, I was high, but that's not the reason why I jumped that curb. The avocado fell out of my fucking sandwich right into my lap.
I was raged following the ginger to throw my sandwich at him, and I called him.
So he would get 2 sandwiches.
That's somebody.
I would end up with a sandwich before you, and then he'd get yours.
Somebody
sandwich.
I used a term, an F word that I wouldn't, I mean, I'd call my animal that, but not because of its sexuality or anything, but I let loose with fucking faggot under my mask, very loud enough that everybody heard it. I just couldn't help contain it. It was just like, are you
can't do that, buddy?
When I said I was standing by the door back away, social distancing. So when I said fucking, it could have been that I was upset about something going on outside. It wasn't like I was looking at him, but it's just, that's what makes me an asshole. When I
think that you gotta, I mean, I'll be honest. I think you gotta figure out why it is that just these simple interactions are enraging you so much.
I wouldn't have used, I wouldn't have said fucking faggot
in a fucking Quiznos.
Wouldn't have said faggot if I had a better look at him, because then it felt like, I mean, like, okay, mate. I mean, I didn't mean it that way. And he's a hipster, and it's like, I might have been a sensitive subject matter, but it was like, the situation was what I was calling a fucking faggot. The situation, not anybody. Or it's like this, like if lightning struck.
People don't know that you think
it seems specific and directed at someone, and wherever your nose is pointing when you say that phrase, that's who's going to take it.
I was looking at cinnamon bread. I was looking at day old cinnamon bread. Loaves of cinnamon bread stacked up. That's what I call
cinnamon bread.
Yeah, you're off the hook.
Gray area.
Yeah,
I wasn't proud of it. I shouldn't have even been out. I wish that, they would have made me a sandwich in advance. I thought about that. I thought about pulling in there before going to the doctor and saying, I'd like to get a sandwich and pick it up in 20 minutes. That's what should have happened. I'm going to see Linda Lovelace. It's going to take a few minutes.
I should be super relaxed when I get back.
Yeah,
that's a better time.
I don't. But
then you found out that her name was Linda Lovelace, and now you're not relaxed, and you're anxious, and you're mad. Now you come back, and all hell breaks loose.
And because I had it wrong, and I Dr. Lovelace, and she said it's Loveless, not love more. Because that was her go-to.
Oh, that's her phonetic.
Love less, love
she
more.
wants to take the joke another way so that you don't think of the Linda Lovelace thing.
Because she does it 30 times a day since she was 15.
And in fairness to me, I barely heard I heard the name of the doctor, but that's why it caught in my head that way. But I didn't even know what time the appointment was, and then I banged my head hard enough to give myself a mark on my head in the aftermath. And then the 3 minutes of being I usually don't get mad at people. I can't. I mean, when I'm not feeling shitty, and I'll just leave the restaurant if somebody steps in front of me and orders the same thing I'm going to order, because it just seems like.
Wait, this is a thing that happens constantly for you?
People are always trying to do what I'm doing. And if there's, like
psychics there in your town,
like
eating, yes. I don't know why everyone else wants to eat.
What if I went to, I'm going to go to a new release movie, and I don't want to go because there'll be a bunch of other people in a big long line and all that shit. So I go pick a day 6 weeks later to go to a matinee, and then there's a bag crinkler in the theater. Or something. Some shit.
Bag crinkler is always.
That's just not you, though, Andy. That's just not you.
But a bag crinkler is always a negative and a piece of shit, no matter what.
And that's when I am. Sometimes I'm verbal when I'm just in my head. I'm just like thinking, what a fucking, hey fatty, could you please leave your French fries alone so you don't rattle that bag around every fucking time you need to get, or how about this, I'll buy you a new bowl and you can dump all your fries in that. You won't bother everybody else around here. But it doesn't really bother most people, and a lot of them have headphones, and sometimes I will think I'm not saying anything, but I'll be reacting like, God damn it, go ahead, rattle that bagger. It's like, oh, that's verbal. I should shut up.
Yeah.
Oh wait, where's my mask?
I don't go to the movies a lot, but I've never encountered anybody with a bag of something or headphones while I'm in the movies.
Wow. They'll bring their own popcorn.
I went to a place, Chad, in Tucson. They have kind of like an Alamo Draft House kind of thing where you go in and there's liquor, there's like a full ice cream bar, and they'll have appetizers and stuff, and you'll ring a bell or whatever, hit a button, and they'll come out and they'll serve you, right? We're sitting there and you pick the seat you want to sit in, right? So that is your seat, and they're recliners. It's really nice. And then right in front of us is a fucking dude with his like an older gentleman with a lady that had to be his older mom. It was not. I don't think this was a couple thing. And he fucking had a bag of something. I don't even know what it was, but he was sitting right in front of us, and there's nobody in this theater, but they picked the seats and we picked the seats, and they happened to be just one row off. And he's got a bag of something that would fucking make Andy take his mask off.
Oh man, yeah.
But he was not only grabbing into the bag and making that thing, but then he would open something. It was like a twisty thing, but it wasn't soft wax paper like a Tootsie Roll. It was something that made noise like a Jolly Rancher or something. And then he sucked on it. So every step of the fucking way, there was a noise coming from that guy. It was like, Jesus, do we just fucking because it's not going to stop, because he would move. He would present the bag every time, open it, offer. She wouldn't take anything. Then he would dig in, grab one, and then do his little thing, and then crunch it back together to what are you saving the moisture in a fucking hard candy? Just set it on the fucking
bag mangling. That's what I call them.
Bag mangling.
I moved at the airport. I had a nice seat away from people waiting for my flight, and there was a bag mangler in my area, and I moved and I sat 3 seats away from this guy. He looked maybe not, but and then the seats were pretty scarce in there. This guy had a Gronkowski jersey. He's a fat, and he had he seemed drunk, but he was just quiet. And then his phone, I dozed off, and his phone blaring, hip hop, hippity hop. It threw me awake. And then I started hearing this guy's conversation, thinking this guy's a fucking weird son of a bitch. And then there's this little girl, and this guy goes up, he goes, I gotta tell you something to the mother about the little girl. And it's like she's doing whatever it was, and it's like inappropriate as fuck. And then he sits back down and he keeps going, I'm sorry, I shouldn't. She goes, no, it's fine, or whatever. And then it's fine. And then he looks at me, and oh man, I'm not into conversation with this guy. And he moved on, like I was not responding to him or whatever. But then he caught somebody that was sitting near, and goes, where are you going? He asked the other guy, like that's what he was asking me. I just didn't hear it, because I was like, I'm not gonna hear your words, motherfucker. He goes, asked this other guy where he was going, and it was just a setup so he could say where he was going, which was to rehab. He's gone his way to rehab, drinking a beer, all glassy-eyed, talking to some mother's little child, and he sat there, a long time, another phone call or two. I love you too, brother. I'll see you on the other side, or whatever. I don't know, man. I'm, Ventura. I haven't been there. So I'm like, thinking, wait, I can get rid of this guy. I go, you're going to Ventura for your rehab, Ventura, California? Yep, going to Ventura, California. Well, this flight's going to Eugene, Oregon. Oh, shit. And he staggers up. He leaves all his ticket, his phone, and then he goes and talks to him. And they just, I'm sorry, this flight ain't going to there. Stupid.
That obviously wasn't his first beer.
But to get rid of the fella, and then he leaves his beer and takes off, or he starts to take off, and I go, hey man, your phone's here and your tickets. So he gets those, and then I go, don't forget your beer. And he goes, oh man, I wanted to just expedite him leaving, so I did everything I could, and I figured if he's on his way, even though he's I get why he's going to rehab. Nobody wants to deal with this fucking guy, but I didn't want him to go. He had to go to Seagates from A, and his flight was already, he was he was going to miss his flight. He needed the beer. Anyway, that's my travel story. But the bag
in Vegas,
that was in Vegas. Yeah. And the bag mangling that was going on is why I ended up sitting next to this guy, thinking, okay, he's not eating, he's sort of asleep. But good luck to you, sir, out there.
You sat next to a temporarily passed out drunk on his way to rehab.
You seem like
bad luck, man. That's like stepping on a landmine.
Yeah, but I helped him get there.
Why is he all chatty about going to rehab? Like, was it a cautionary tale for the young kid?
The person he told laughed as though it was a joke, but I saw his glassy eyes and his, that's not a joke.
Yeah.
Why would it, but yeah, he's just like, how people like look around for eye contact or any sign and then they got you. And, if I would have said, oh yeah, I'm just coming from Vegas, he would have had whatever. I mean, whatever I would have said, he would have spun it to bring it to, he's going to rehab. I would have prayed with him under other circumstances.
Yeah.
But they say that one of the signs of COVID is fatigue. And when I get fatigued, basically they say might cause sudden outburst of assholedness. That's what I get out of COVID. Chad's probably like that too. Or at least.
Well, I might have COVID all the time then, but.
You might have
the long COVID.
Yeah, long COVID.
I think I really do, because I thought I had COVID because I still have like some symptoms of, especially when I got back, I was coughing a lot and stuff, and I had to take a COVID test because I got that weird taste and smell back again, and it's like metallic, and I was looking it up and I was like, why does it fucking taste like I got a bunch of nickels in my fucking mouth all the time? And it says, yeah, that's the one of the things with the new
like the new
variants. And but I tested negative, so I guess I'm all right. Jenny said, I think you just have lasting symptoms,
Yeah. Well, it's ironic, is the way we party in Vegas is exactly the same feeling you have when you have COVID. Like, I sort of have a cold, my nose is running, I got a dry cough,
Yeah, you wish you just stayed home.
If I would have stayed home in bed and hadn't gone to Vegas, this Linda Lovelace said I would have still been had this. So I'm glad I did drugs and staggered around and fell in the middle of the road.
Oh, Andy was fucking at one point, the guy that does the like he has like a shovel or a guitar or something that's like anchored in, and it looks like he's like floating, like, and you're like, how does that guy standing like that?
Oh, the guy out on the street, like the busker, he's like the statue guy.
Yeah, like a statue guy. At one point I looked at Andy and he looked like one of those guys. He was like bent in half, like at the waist, like just leaned back
on break.
Yeah, leaned completely backwards at the waist, and I was like, how the fuck is he not falling over? I don't understand that. That's not even physically possible.
Yeah, I did. I had a couple of falls that altered my balance. And I was walking around sideways, and anytime I'd run into somebody who looked like a bouncer, I'd go, do what you got to do, man.
I can't right this ship.
Yeah, I respect you for doing your job.
Oh man,
but it was a relatively mellow trip to Vegas, I think.
Yeah,
and it was fun.
Did you pee your pants?
I did that.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Oh, yeah. Okay, good.
I brought
them at the bar.
I brought them pants.
Level experience.
I brought them pants for that reason. But here's the problem with Vegas, of course, and I've talked about this, is it's a desert one, and you try to hydrate because you're going to be drinking booze. So you drink a lot more water than you'd normally drink with booze. And they know that you go into them casinos looking for a bathroom, you might drop money in a machine. So they put the bathrooms, and
they're hard to find.
They write it off. They know people are going to piss themselves, and they don't mind.
You think that's part of their business plan?
There's a certain amount of pee you just have to expect.
I got
running a casino in Las Vegas. You just understand that that's going to be the amount of pee you deal with.
I got recognized by a guy walking in the Fremont, pushing. He was obviously doing janitorial work with his stuff. He goes, Andy, and I think he knew me just through casino pissing rather than anything else.
Cleaned up after you before.
Yeah.
He goes, I know.
Oh, you have a podcast?
He goes, I know all of your work. I'm like, oh yeah. Circus.
It's been following your career.
Multiple times the plaza. My brother cleaned up after you at Mandalay Bay 10 years ago.
That wasn't me. That wasn't me. I was nowhere near Mandalay Bay.
Yeah, I could never afford to piss in that hotel.
You know, Andy's theory does sound kind of ludicrous, but I did notice that whole new Sand Dollar bar there, Chaille, has no fucking bathroom in it. You have to walk
No,
all
the only
the way
bathroom is
across the casino to the fucking bathroom.
right near the showroom.
Yeah.
Past a lot of gambling.
Yeah.
I was in this one bathroom with and it was like a horse race. There was me, like 4 other guys, and they were all in the same situation, just barely got their dicks out and before they pissed themselves.
Wait, what are we talking about?
I was at a, like a
Andy thought he was in the bathroom, but he wasn't.
Well, I was in Fremont and I was like, I gotta pee
You're
and I'll wait a minute.
Experience?
Yeah, and I thought I had a pee, and then I was thinking, "Oh, hold on, no, don't hold off." Is exactly what you think you can do, and it doesn't work. So I went in, sorted it out. It wasn't easy, you know. Where's the bathroom? This way, but it was like a horse race. When I got there, it was like, I gotta go, and then the next guy's like, oh shit, and, I was talking to him for a second, then I realized they don't want to hear my whole theory on this shit. These are some players, and they don't want to be bothered by me talking to them about dick problems. But it was just, I could have had a good moment and told them that this is not your fault, man.
Yeah,
you hydrated.
I had an emergency just like that on Fremont, and that's how Andy and I ended up in Dick's Last Resort.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that existed there. I had heard of that place, but I didn't know there was one there. Apparently neither does anybody else, because we were the only ones in there.
Oh, yeah, that's perfect.
That's
perfect. That's what Andy requires.
Andy should order a sandwich next time.
Except for they make you buy a drink to use their bathroom. And,
I bought Chad. I bought myself.
Andy bought us around and spent like $25 fucking dollars.
No, it was almost 40. It was $36 for a shot and a beer backer.
Jesus.
I was like, all right. That's like, but Chad had to. That's why you just pee your. But
he should have his pee pants on.
When I don't wear, when I wear them silk pants, it's like, Superman with his cape on.
Really?
But for peeing yourself.
But for pissing my pants. I can only remember it happening once, but when I was squeezing them out and washing them in the sink up there.
It felt like more than one.
Oh man, I kept ringing out yellow.
I'm so hydrated.
Loads. Yeah, very hydrated.
Good for me.
I do have another update. Andy was a perfect gentleman at every stoplight we went to. Was pointing out other people who were jaywalker, and he was hollering out when people would
you can kill somebody doing that.
Yeah.
Murderer.
Murderer.
Good for you.
Yeah, it took a while. I processed that and had to really observe it and stand back, but Chad taught me to not kill other people on accident or get them severely injured.
And there's no hurry. Whatever is on the other side.
Once again, you should be just tapping your toes and whistling a tune. You got nowhere to be.
Yeah. We're here. Enjoy it.
Yeah, I will once I get over this COVID. I'll be back to it's like it went from appreciating every moment I had left to fucking pissing myself and ranting about somebody
wringing out your pants over
I was pretty. There were moments in Death Valley where I'm like, I'm just soaking in this and happy to be alive, and wringing out the piss out of my pants for 15 minutes was not one of those moments. I was like, oh man, I thought I'd learned this lesson. But I am I'm
back, baby.
I quit drinking again. I'm done with it.
Oh, cool.
I mean, I'll have a glass of wine here and there and baby shots in the desert, but I
I thought that might happen. You went fucking hard, Andy.
Yeah.
I was very
Totally.
surprised at how hard you went.
Really?
Erickson, all three of us ended up after New Year's. We eventually headed over to the Sand Dollar, which is a new property at the plaza, where it's an actual bar in town, and now they've created this one inside the plaza, and they've got bands, and there was a cover band playing, and they were kind of just jamming, like, hey, I know that on drums. So it was real loose and it was fun, and like the manager for the bar was over there. People kept walking in, like Annie, Letterman, Sandro, Todd, everyone, and I look at Andy and he's just fucking sideways, like drinking. The next day I go, hey Andy, that was pretty fun, that band last night. He goes, band? Where? I'm all, yep, that was it. So yeah, he was back for a limited time only.
Good for
Even
you.
the night before that, we were he got really fucked up. We went. Oh, I wanted to tell you guys about that too. Well, first we get an Uber because we went over to see Sandro and Nikki and Annie
over at Wise Guys. They were
So we go to get an Uber over there. Hoot Looney orders us all an Uber, and she was cool enough to Uber us all over there. So we go to get in, and I tell Andy, hurry up, drink your drink, because he's already fucked up. Drink your drink. We got to get in this Uber. Andy, of course, does not drink his drink. What pulls up to Uber us over? A Tesla. Fucking none of us know how to open the doors. We don't know. We can't figure out how to get in this fucking thing. We're like, holy shit. Fucking go over. I didn't realize Andy did not get rid of his drink. So, of course, he goes in. Jenny gets in. And I go to get in, and I'm like, what the fuck? Hey, I go to tell this guy, hey, guy, you got fucking something puddled all over in the backseat of your fucking Tesla. And as I go to open my mouth to tell him, it occurs to me, no, that's Andy. Andy fucking puddled his drink all over the back of this guy's Tesla.
I spilled in front of me and tried to wipe as I went, but I left some.
So did we. So Jenny and I and Andy all tried to mop up Andy's drink in the back of this guy's Tesla.
Oh man.
I was like,
is
this why Erickson
is soaked down into the battery? That thing will start.
Well, that's what I was telling Jenny. I was like, we're sitting on a fucking giant battery bank that this fucking drink is just leaking down onto.
I did it because I was angry Brett wasn't there.
Sorry.
This is why he can't be at the desert party. This is why I'm gonna fucking vandalize this guy's seat. No, I just spilled.
It's a metaphor, officer.
That's the first Tesla I've rode in.
What'd you think?
I don't remember, but I rode. I think I was in Annie and Todd's for a minute, or no, I guess I looked at it. Never mind.
Didn't you ride all the way from Los Angeles?
No, they had a different vehicle. They didn't bring it because they didn't think there would be plug-ins for a Tesla, but I guess there are out there. It's a really long extension cord that runs up the Ballarat. That's a slam on your company.
I didn't get it.
Me neither.
Yeah, there's none up. I don't think there's any at Panamint, but I think there's some in Pahrump.
So yeah, I actually was sideways from drinking though. I mean, I fell in the middle of the road.
This is you. This is you during the fireworks, Andy.
That's me. That's actually
your
oh yeah, that's me. That is me.
Your performance pants.
People thought I was doing that to see the fireworks. I did not see.
Are you laying in the street?
That's in front of the main.
Well, he fell.
Street.
People thought he was laying there to watch the fireworks.
Yeah, that's Main Street. Fortunately, traffic was not running at the time.
Yeah, the center line is literally right into your head.
There you go. There's rock bottom. I finally found rock bottom. It was on Main Street. But
it's right behind you.
And not because of any regret over drinking or anything. I just, it's like I need to do a press conference like an NFL player and retire from drinking. I regret that I won't be out there anymore with my teammates.
I'd like to spend more time with my family.
I want to spend time with my family and have some dry pants
It smells like hobo barf down there. I don't want to be down there anymore.
Yeah, so I just
Oh,
gotta,
Andy.
you know, I can't get blackout drunk and take a beating like that no more. So I'm gonna.
Eddie, are you saying you don't remember seeing the fireworks or the drone display or anything?
I didn't see any of that
night?
shit. No, I was.
You were like in the best spot.
That was during it right there.
People, I don't remember seeing any of it. I think I was blacked out drunk there.
All right.
Well,
Well, after this is when I saw you, and you don't remember seeing.
Did I get up? Yeah, I wonder how I got up there. I mean, you know, maybe some people helped me to my feet.
You didn't have to go far. It was on the bottom floor. So you just
From
had to get up
there,
the curb.
you have to go far.
But that's when that's when I was walking. I was sideways because I banged my hip going down.
Yeah.
Like I didn't sit down like, you know, it's the 4th of July and
You went hard.
picnic. Yeah, I couldn't right my balance, and therefore, you know, it's not that I don't want to fall down drunk anymore. I just can't take the toll. So thank you everybody who bought me that bottomless vodka Sprite that I had the whole trip. And the next time I'm gonna say no, thank you.
Thank you, but no.
Yeah, just no, thank you. I'm not an alcoholic. I don't quit because of that, and I'm not going to any meetings. I just it's like when Rocky took that beating and then no more.
Yeah, you run your race.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
It was a good one, Andy. It was a good one. I had a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
time, man.
I'll still be looped on dope and whatnot.
Yeah, well, of course.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. Just be
Yeah.
honest.
As long as it'll not knock me on my ass. But I mean, I saw an old man. You probably saw the Chaille. Did you see the bento, the guy old man who was like me all the time. He was hung out at the sports book a lot. But I'm like, you know,
I was not in the sports book. I didn't do shit.
there's a guy who's all looked like, you know, he's felt like he watched the fireworks with me. But he was like that permanent, and then he dropped some glass, and he was going to pick it up, and I went over and go, hey, sir, somebody will get this. No, he's got snot running from his nose, and he's fucking.
Was it Thurman Merman from Bad Santa?
No, but this was like 9 or 10 in the morning or so. So it was like, you know, not that I had I was like wow, that, you know, just because he was in the same position I was in, well, that's, you know, there's my future. If I don't like get this in check a little bit, I'll be that fucking permanently humped over, fucking drunk all the time, you know, shit. So, hey man, day one. This is day 2, I think.
Cheers to you to even being able to do that to yourself after what you went through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Go back, bro.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I had to do it one more time just to get the stink off my dick from cancer.
Good, who's
That was a
boss?
cleansing. That was a good alcohol swab right there. Is
Yeah.
what that was, buddy.
It was healthy.
Yeah.
Good for your mind and spirit.
Yeah, I can get back to the life I left behind before cancer, but geez, no, man, don't do it. So I'm going to modify it.
It sounds like you're making some resolutions.
Hey, they're not even that. It's just, well, I mean, you know, my grandma was a fall down drunk with had 2 or 3 broken hips in her day. I got a nephew who's getting his first hip replacement. And it's like, you know, if I could bounce off of the fucking cement like I did 10 years ago, I might be fine with it. But
Yeah, you
I don't
shouldn't be
remember a lot
doing
of
that.
bouncing. I remember you jaywalk making fun of that cop writing a ticket to a jaywalker, and you had to go to the hospital.
yeah.
That's not bouncing. And that was 10 years ago.
Right. So yeah, I've been on borrowed time.
Yeah. There's no
You're in the bonus
bouncing.
round this whole time.
Man.
You're one guy who, like, as athletic as you are, and up in the morning with a routine, no matter how fucked up you were the night before, you did carry a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
I mean, that jaywalking one was really someone put you in check. The universe put you in check, goofing on the cop writing the ticket.
Yeah.
But you were really fucked up from that, remember?
Yeah. I had to, I mean, I couldn't go up to Seattle to finish the tour. I had to go home, get medical advice.
DL.
It's just It's I used to do well. I mean, it's like in the Unbookables. I get
Yeah,
drunk.
you hurt your
I
back
beat
in
off of
Peoria, jumping off of the balcony.
Oh yeah.
Doing a pole swing in the gay bar.
There's something that, I mean, there's like I'm a half a suicidal or whatever. It's like, if you want to hurt yourself, climb higher, douche.
Climb higher or go head first.
It's like I actually thought of this bit I did. Somebody were talking about the first comedy thing, but anyway, my one of my first bits was about a guy trying to commit suicide on the McCullough Bridge. And he jumped in front of a Freightliner truck. And he
like
did
a semi coming out.
Yeah, he jumped in front of it. It's a true story. This guy, he jumped in front of us. Or no, he jumped in front of a motorhome, a family from California that was traveling, and he jumped and tried to kill himself, and he jumped in front of the motorhome, and it just damaged him, but didn't kill him. And my joke was, and this is like when I first time I did comedy, was, hey, if you're gonna, I'm not saying you should try to kill yourself, but if you are, the name you're looking for is Freightliner, not Leisure Cruiser. And now I'm that
Either
guy.
one would fuck you up though.
I know, but if you want to be sure about it, there's
bridge?
or just turn and jump right off of that sucker. That is too.
So where was he jumping to jump in front of?
He was on this thing, and he just got in front of a lane of cars, and then a motorhome hit him. But that's me, that's that's like a lame, jumping off of shit and getting injured, and do it right, man. But I ain't gonna do it at all. I'm gonna just start taking it easy on, booze is.
Andy was gonna step in front of a car and kill himself, but he saw another guy had gotten there right before him.
Yeah.
And he's like,
derivative. Yeah.
Fucking faggot.
If you just got there earlier, 3 minutes earlier.
Fucking faggot.
Fuck, I love you.
But
congratulations. I'm glad you made it to the end of the run.
Yeah, fucking. I started when I was a young boy in Menlo Park with Steve Spleen.
Well, it's nice to transition into just smoking weed and relaxing and being chill. It takes a toll on your body.
Yeah.
I do have a question, Andy.
Onto the ground all the time.
There's a picture here that I believe you posted, but I wondered if you could just fill us in with the context. Here we go. Right there. What's going on in this picture?
Oh, that's the shirt that I fell in the middle of the street with.
That's a shirt. It looks like a towel. Oh no, it is a shirt.
It's a shirt from the picture before.
Yeah. It's a shirt I liked a lot, and now it's. I'm not gonna wash that shirt. Never gonna wear it again. But I'm gonna keep it as a reminder.
Yeah.
The night I blacked out.
You should open a bar and 10 bar like
Black Howdies.
Sam in
Black Howdies.
Black Howdies.
Fall down drunkies.
Yeah, you hang your shirt at the bar. You never drink again, and you just tell stories and serve drinks to people.
Like Sam from Cheers.
Exactly.
You got plenty of stories. You just eat your ice and drink soda waters.
You got a little lucky coin you flip.
So that'll imply I didn't lie down jump in the middle of the road to look at fireworks, but that was the smear on the back of my game jersey.
I was relieved to hear that you just fell down, because when I first saw it, I thought you got ran over. I thought it was tire tracks. I was like,
it does kind of look like
got run over.
Maybe, but I think somebody would have mentioned it. That's
just sped off.
Yeah, that would be that, and that shirt would be the things you'd see in the bar. Like, oh, okay, there it is. No, I'll call it rock bottoms.
There we go.
Yeah, that rock bottoms
turned into a gay bar. Just
rock bottoms.
Yeah, I was gonna say
rock bottoms and sandwiches.
You only get a sandwich if you deserve one.
I was gonna call it Rock Bottom's Bar and Grill, but that would be too much hassle. So I'll just make a cold sandwich if I feel like it at Rock Bottom's.
You're at Rock Bottom, so what do you care? It's all part of the experience.
Spin the wheel at Rock Bottom. So So that was my winnings at Vegas right there. Banked up the whole-
Realization.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I almost had, it felt like I had a big payday on the Karate Kid machine that me and Letterman played a bunch. I hung out with her and she played this game and she won a couple grand on it. And I went back with the
The Karate over at the Circa. There was a one of these Erickson. It's one of these machines. It's like it's more video screen than anything else. It's like 12 feet tall, and I was looking at it going like, what are you even playing here? I don't even know. I know that you hit bet max. You just hit the one button, bet max. It goes, and then all these things go up and lines go over. I go, I don't even know what I'm trying. Like, how do you?
You want to get into the tournament. You want to, I mean, the 3s and the 4s and that or whatever, but there'll be a Daniel Psalm doing the crane kick.
Yeah, as a Karate Kid,
it'll go boom, boom. And if you get the third one, then you're in the tournament. And that's where you are into.
So you got to do the moves.
No.
Physically.
I mean, that.
No, it's not like the punching bag game or something.
But it is such
It's
a cool machine. It's entertaining to watch, the machine, there's, I mean.
So far you haven't described what happened.
Not at all.
It's like any slot machine where the 3 of a kinds and the wild cards or whatever, but then there's these special screens you get into by the 3 crane kicks, you get into the tournament.
You even know how to play it, Andy.
Once you're into the tournament, you get 5 rounds and they're all payoffs of sorts or whatever, and then you pick a fighter, or it picks a fighter for you, so it can be Miyagi, that evil Kreese, and then there's the wild card, and if you get the wild card in there, then you're in line for the progressive pot, and then it drops all these rows of gold rings or whatever, all of them, big gold rings, whole row, all of them, except ding ding, the very fucking last one. Otherwise, I would have walked out of there with $400,000, and I would still be drinking.
You were one away.
One fucking thing. I mean, I watched that game for an hour or two with Letterman, so I like that happening hadn't. I mean, this was like as close as it goes, and I was like, fuck me, and. It was, I mean, it's just a minute or, 10 seconds. I saw that I could have won that, but it's going to torment me forever. But I don't think I would have stopped drinking. I would be in Vegas still, running
Yeah,
amok.
if you'd have won $400,000.
Yeah, I wouldn't have flown out that day. I would have gotten a room with, they would have put me in a VIP thing upstairs, and I would have, they would have said, hey, you don't pee on our floor. Okay, I got you. Because that's a new,
tumbled off the roof.
It's a brand new it's a brand new casino. It hasn't had
Circa, it's just been open recently. But Erickson, this is kind of what I'm talking about. Is like it's one of these machines. It's taller than it is wide, and it is just this. I have no idea what's going on. This one looks like a spin the wheel one, but the Karate Kid one, there's a bunch of online ones, so I don't know if it's the same, but I really don't. It's just so weird how many things going across and down, and the way they stitch together. I don't know.
There's this screen, a bonus screen where it's Miyagi trying to catch a fly with chopsticks, and if he catches the fly, then you get a triple bonus.
So do you have to try to catch
You don't do anything but stand there and watch it. You hit the button and then you just watch it.
You hit the button and then it goes. And then be sure to bet the most. Bet full max.
And you just watch it, take your money.
Yeah.
Go,
I think
there goes all my money.
I think the reason why I don't gamble much is because you get endorphins or whatever from gambling, and I'm usually so fucking stripped of those from drinking that I, winning doesn't matter. It doesn't feel like,
just get you back to even keel.
Yeah.
So Erickson, here's a good example. See look at all these. There's it's five across and maybe like 8 down. Yeah. There's all these symbols. I don't know how they're supposed to line up or whatever, but
all I know is
like 3 reels, like 3 sevens,
like 5 swan kicks. That's your 4.
But it doesn't just go across or diagonal. It goes it'll go up and down, and it look like a stock ticker or whatever.
Yeah,
there's a whole bunch that are like that, Chaille. I didn't understand them at all because I was trying to figure out what to gamble on, and I'll tell you what, I'm convinced that people who gamble, because everybody's always like, I won this or I won this. I'm thoroughly convinced that people who say that, they don't factor in what they paid out when they say that.
Like they're not factoring in the amount of money that is no longer in their pocket.
Right.
Like what they've spent to get to
exactly
spending $1,000.
Yes. Like I just won $200. You won right on. You won $200. Yeah. Okay. But wait. How much did you spend to win 200? Well, all right. I came here with 800, and then I spent all of that, and now I just won 200 though at the end of that 800. Like, no, then you didn't win $200. Then, because all the time I hear people say that, I won 200 or I won,
up.
But I try to gamble, and all I do is just fucking watch the money just go out the thing. And I hate it. I hate it with every fucking part of I hated doing it the whole time.
Yeah, you do look like somebody who's not having fun pecking at that machine. Each time it's like
I don't know if I should say this, but fucking I did it because Stanhope was all fucked up. When we first got there, we're hanging out, and we get there, and he fucking hugs me, and he fucking hands me a chip, and he says, this is to gamble with, because he knows I won't gamble, and he wanted me to have fun. So he goes, this is to gamble with, and he gives me some $2 bills, and he goes, this is to tip with, because he wanted me to tip the people at the casino with $2 bills, because that's what he's been doing. And so he, and I was like, all right. So now I have this chip of money of Stanhope's that he wants me to use to gamble. So now I feel obligated to gamble with Stanhope's fucking money. So I'm like, all right. So now I'm gambling, and I fucking hate it, because even though it's not my money, I still fucking hate it, because
Yeah, to me, winning was never enough better than losing made me feel. Like I hated losing money so much more than winning.
Any kind of rush from winning.
Yeah. I would rather just take the money I have going into the night and spend it just drinking and carousing and bouncing about, like just be spending.
My mind tallies up and starts telling me what you could have bought this with that money right there. Bing, bing, there's $40.
Yeah, they don't like people like you in Vegas.
Yep.
Oh, what are you doing there?
Yep. You need a new mower. Well, another summer with the old fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, there's $60. You won't spend $60 on this, and you need this. And you're like, what the fuck?
You know who should be counting their chips while they're sitting at the table? Pretty much everybody who has responsibilities. Okay, I can't wager all that shit.
Yeah,
it's bullshit. Kenny Rogers, and what did they get Kenny Rogers? Dead? No, is he? I think so. He should be dead. Not because I want him to be, but I think
he had a nice fried chicken franchise before he was dead for a lot of years.
Roasters,
He's in heaven with Buck Owens.
Yep, and Roy Clark. That's
a pretty good bluegrass band there.
Yep.
He died March 20th, 2020.
Wow. So he had a good run. Oh, darn it. Probably he wasn't no drinker.
What?
No, I don't know. He wasn't he didn't have a reputation as being a drunk like most of those country western guys of that era.
5 wives, so he must have drank or did something.
They did.
Yeah.
He was just a controlling asshole, but
he drove them to it.
5 wives, Jesus.
Whatever. Yeah.
So hey, Chad, you said something in your text before the podcast today that you got a story.
Oh.
What a great introduction, Chaille.
Well, it's not a great story.
That's all he said, really.
I don't talk about upselling.
Well,
get ready, everybody.
Well, I'm always
put some
excited.
avocado on it.
It's probably not a funny story. It's not a funny story, but it's
we don't mind.
I got drawn for javelina.
It'll fit right in.
Archery javelina hunting for all of January. And today we got back on the 4th So today was the late on the 3rd, I guess.
Third.
Late on the 3rd. So today was the first day that I was able to go hunting. So I knew I had to get back in for this. So I went out this morning for a few hours and walking around, and I found some great javelina tracks. As well, all I was really looking for was an area that I could go back out to. Because like I said, I have the whole month to go out and hunt and walk around. I was like, man, this is fresh. They're probably right in here, and didn't see them. So let me go over and take off my long johns. It's getting warm out here. So I was like, we'll take off my long johns. So I walk back over to my ranger and I take off my long johns and get my bow and everything put away, take off my pants, take off my long johns, put my pants back on. But I don't have my pants buttoned up or anything. I don't have my suspenders over my, my back suspenders are buckled, but the fronts aren't. I have my headphones in because I'm not hunting or anything. I'm just sitting there listening to an audiobook and having a drink. And I look up and there's a fucking javelina about 80 yards away from me, walking the trail that I just came off of, looking for these javelina. I knew they were in there. And so that's a cool picture. I'm glad you pulled that picture in particular up, Chaille, because I go over and I'm like, fuck, there's a javelina right there. So now I have to scramble and put my pants on and get my shit back out, and I start stalking up to them. The wind is just right. The wind's blowing at me from them because they can't see very well at all. Mm-hmm. They can hear and they can smell. So I'm sneaking up. You got to walk up kind of slow, and then every once in a while he'll hear me and look up straight at me, and you just got to freeze like a fucking statue and just wait for him out, last them until they look away. And then he'll look away and I sneak up, and I got about 40 yards away, which is where I'm usually comfortable shooting. And it's kind of a small one. And it's the first day, and it's pretty close to the time I was going to cut off. I still have to gut this and skin it and do a lot of work. Once I shoot it, there's a lot of fucking work goes on, and I still have to get back over and podcast. So I'm like, all right, I don't think I want to shoot that little one right there. And that's the first day anyway. So I'm like, is there more? I look over, there's a great big fat one. I'm like, fuck, I'll shoot that big fucker right there. I'll
more work.
I'll tell those guys I'll be late for that. I'll tell those motherfuckers I'll be late for that great big motherfucker. So now I sneak up on this great big motherfucker, and I'm about 30 yards from this big one. And I've got my range found, and I'm big one. And that's about the time that I noticed that she's got babies about the size of those ones. And they call them reds. And now I have an ethical dilemma. And I'm like, fuck, I don't think I want to shoot a one with babies like that. That's kind of fucked up.
What do the rules say about that?
No,
you have to adopt the baby.
I can shoot. Yeah, I have to. They're now my babies.
Yeah, you have to raise them
until they're 18.
Until they're 18.
I think. Well, I'll get into what I think in a minute. Right. But I'm not sure. But immediately I just decide no. Since I don't know, it's first day. I have until the 31st. I don't want the hunt to be over yet anyway. I like hunting. I want to keep doing this. I've only been hunting for like 3 fucking hours. I don't want it to be over with.
Yeah. You're not taking this slam dunk. You want to play the game for a while.
That would limit you out. One is it? That's all you got to tag for one.
I have another hunt in February.
Okay.
That only is like 10 days.
But you shouldn't shoot any animal with babies, right? I mean, all hunters would go by that rule, wouldn't they?
Ethically, I don't know.
So. I don't hunt at all. So, I mean, what is?
Okay. So I ended up calling my dad on the phone to ask him. He's a hunting guide in Alaska in the past, and he's an most ethical hunter I know. And he said, I wouldn't. He goes, if you can pick another one, do it. He goes, it's he goes, they might be a still suckling or whatever. And he goes, if they have babies, and he goes, and then you got fucking milk sacks to deal with. And he goes, when you got to field dress them, and he says, And he said, yeah, and he says it could. He says, but he says, just pick a different one. He goes, but if you did on accident, he says the squadron will just take care of them. That's why the Game
it'll
and
be
Fish,
fine. Shoot it.
So Game and Fish sets the regulations to the hunting season they're already big enough that the squadron will take care of them if that happens.
What's
so
a squadron?
The squadron is what a herd.
The group of pigs.
A group of pigs.
Squadron of javelinas?
Squadron of javelina.
At-risk pigs. Like they lost their mother to a hunting accident and then they start
latchkey javelina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I go and I'm walking through. I follow him down. I get upwind of him and I just kind of follow up through. Now I'm just kind of interested. I want to track him through. I already know now where I'm going to go hunting tomorrow. Yeah. So I walk up through and I call my dad, and I'm on the phone with my dad and I'm talking to him about this, and we're just kind of chatting. And by now we're just kind of talking about my grandparents and stuff and visiting. And all of a sudden, this javelina, the first one that I was stalking, comes running up through the brush and walking through. And I go, well, there's that fucking first one walking right here through the brush at about 30 yards.
Yeah.
And so now, and I go, well, fuck now. Well, now he's walking right towards me, and I'm talking to my dad. So now I got the thing set on my binocular case, and I've got my bow. And I go, well, fuck. Now I think I should shoot him. My dad's laughing, and I go, fuck. He's 25 yards from me. He's looking right at me, and he's the javelina, because they have babies. They get kind of aggressive when they have babies with them. So the javelina starts. They call it woofing. He's like, woof, woof, woof. So he's probably about 23 yards or so from me, just woofing at me. So I start woofing back at him, and he just starts walking back and forth in front of me, like daring me to shoot him in my perfect range. I'm like, I could have shot him fucking 10 times. I was like, get out of here. I was yelling at him. Go on. I'll shoot you.
Aren't you fucking in my life? Huh?
I go,
you think I'm such a pig?
My dad's on the
by
fucking
Hunter.
My dad's on the phone fucking cracking up because I'm going, fuck off. I'll shoot you tomorrow if you pull this shit. Get out of here. I got shit to do today. And I'll be here tomorrow, you cocksucker. So I shoot the fucking javelina out of my fucking. So I was telling my dad, I go, people say these fucking things are hard to hunt. Motherfucker won't even get out of here.
Do you get scared when you're getting ready to possibly shoot, or?
If it was huffing at me, I would be scared.
Yeah, I'd be nervous as shit. Those things are
like, I don't get scared, but definitely like I like, you start shaking. They call it, I think
it's more
buck
of
fever.
Or like a buildup, right?
They call it buck fever, and it's the same thing. It's adrenaline, like when you're gonna get into a fight, and you definitely have to. That's the same thing whenever Stanhope has had me like go on stage at the plaza and stuff for him. And you just
it's about like getting on stage.
Take a couple of fucking breaths and like, all right, I'm all right. That's all right, But you have to center yourself. Same thing.
Putting an arrow in a feral pig is a lot like comedy.
This is a little more blood.
Yeah.
Or a little less.
Only a little.
Awesome. Yeah, I saw it was that picture you posted on Instagram. Was the tracks of them after?
There's some deer track in that picture, and there's some javelina track in that picture. There's just animals all in. I found all of those tracks and those javelina because I chased a deer in that area. So yeah, I have a deer tag and javelina tag right now for the whole month of January.
And pretty much shoot anything legally in Arizona that cuts in front of you.
Yeah. Yes. In an area where almost nobody can hunt.
Just standing my ground in Arizona.
You shot that javelina in the back. He came at me.
I thought it was an illegal alien.
It is a little it is a little bit different experience hunting on Fort Huachuca, because usually I have a binocular case that sits right here, and right underneath that I have a holster that holds a 40 caliber pistol. And when I go on Fort Huachuca, I leave my pistol at home because to hunt with a pistol, to carry a pistol there, I have to register it with the military, and I don't want to register any of my weapons.
Huartuca's open, right? Like the public can go in there. Like I know there's bird watching and hiking.
You can go and like sign sign in and get a pass and go on. Yeah. But I don't have to register my bow.
So what's like when you've got your sidearm, is that for in case you get charged and you've wounded one, or is that in like what's the point? Is that just protection just in case?
It's mostly for people.
Oh, all right.
That
wasn't what I was thinking.
If somebody's out there mangling a bag, sprinkling it, you can just go
click. Just hear it. Trying to close up your popcorn bag.
It's just too loud for me. I had to do something.
I'm trying to watch this movie, sir. Avatar, The Way of the Water.
That's my recommendation. No, not to go to that. I haven't been, but I heard it's spectacular.
How can you say that? You haven't seen it. How can you?
I'm just, I thought the first one was just kind of, I mean, I get it. It's basically American Indians trying to haul their land.
Yeah.
And
I think it's
white
a visual
man.
treat. I don't think the storyline is really what anyone's too concerned about, honestly.
Yeah, I think it's.
And also somebody tweeted, and this is a good point. None of them have big breasts. Why even bother putting it in 3D? It's a very good point. You get a couple of big titted Avatar chicks and people will go in just to see that. You missed opportunity. The guy who makes the movie, what's his name? That director,
James Cameron.
Yeah, he don't know how to put titties in a movie or get it. He's never there's never a laugh in any of his movies.
Yeah.
It's not even accidentally, really. I mean, I think he maybe tries to put jokes in, but he's not.
Wait, what does that have to do with titties?
Oh, well, also that's another thing. His movies aren't funny, and
those movies don't have enough titties and jokes.
His movies don't have any hilarious titties.
I'm just saying, if you're gonna have a bunch of women running around and they're natives, let's see some titties swinging. Same reason he can't think of any good jokes. Oh
man,
he doesn't.
Well, he's not a comic. He's not a comedy writer. So shouldn't he stay away from trying to be funny?
Well, he should. I don't know. I mean, billions of dollars to make his movies, and you can't hire Gilbert Godfrey for one of them or something.
Not now he can't.
Not now he can't. But I mean, just a human character, a funny, likable, character in there. Chris Rock, Chris Rock in.
No, we're not moving off of Gilbert Godfrey. You think that Avatar Way of the Water would have been better if Gilbert?
Hell yeah.
And punched up the script a little?
Hell yeah. He could have been one of the people. He could have been one of the dudes.
Gilbert Gottfried would as a talking nipple.
Andy, this race of people, they don't have big breastises. Maybe that's it. Maybe he solved the problem of having to, do we put big boobs in or not? Mm-hmm. Well, these characters don't have boobs.
Yeah, so they're all have
I don't even know if there's a nipple in there.
They're all the same color, and there's no variations in body types. It's like it's a bunch of inbreeders, I guess. The story of inbred people. How could it all be anyway? What other movies has he made? Titanic? Is there anything funny at all in that? And no.
Well, the ship sinks.
Well, yeah. Oh, there was that one part where you see the guy holding on to the thing and he falls off, and then you go and they track him down, and then he hits. That was kind of funny.
Yeah, and the one guy who tried to cut onto the lifeboat ahead of the women and children. Like grabbed
the band keeps playing. That's
pretty funny. There's a lot of hilarious elements.
Yeah, the band keeps playing.
She kicks him off of the piece of wood at the end, and he drowns.
The door, yeah.
All right, I guess he's pretty funny.
Yeah, you just gotta see, and you haven't even seen the new one.
No, but it's not funny.
Oh, Avatar.
The new Titanic part 2.
We bring it back up.
Oh man, yeah. This they just focus on the people who are drowned underneath this time. I mean, they could do another version of it and just show different people, but
Where they miss the iceberg, just goes on.
Yeah,
to
Oh,
just
man, like,
barely, everyone gets
and their
everyone gets
lives
to New
all
York.
happen. The world
Everyone gets to New
changes.
York
Yeah.
2 days ahead of time.
It's a marvel.
yeah, they get there in the port and people are like, "Gosh, I'm supposed to be here 2 hours ago." What a dick. Yeah.
Would Kate and Leo have survived? They probably would have went separate ways at the gate.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, shit, she'd have got back to the New York money and shit.
Yeah.
It
was a trip.
Maybe Jack and the dude who was with her before would go around partying.
Lee Zane.
Yeah, Zane.
Yeah.
He played a good cad.
Yeah, he was the guy who tried to cut onto the lifeboats.
And there was this, they did show the breast a little bit in that, didn't they? Or did they just show
So that met your level of titties.
Yeah, you're
You
close.
give it like
I mean,
2 titties and 3.
Did
and a
you
half
ever,
goats.
when you were a kid or, like a teenager and watching movies, did you ever think that there would just stop being titties in movies on the regular? It just sort of fell out of favor with people. Did titties get me too'd? Because a lot of them slapstick comedies, it just wouldn't be the same movie without them. I mean, what would Porky's?
There should be a reason for the titties. If it's Porky's,
Yeah, Porky's
you
good
can have a
reason.
gratuitous titty scene.
That one where the girl dressed up like the guy. And
Victor Victoria?
No, there was one where a girl, she had a crush on a dude, but he thought he was a dude. It was one of them stupid ones. But
Some Kind of Wonderful?
Something like that sounds familiar, but she showed her breast just to prove that she wasn't a dude.
The Crying Game?
I can't even think of it.
Are we playing
It
the
wasn't-
game here? Or?
Yeah.
It didn't have John Cusack or any of the fine actors of the day. But it was
You
anyway.
described it beautifully.
Yeah, man, I can't think of that one. 16 Candles, there was breast in, right?
Now you're getting into uncomfortable territory. to really think about
Blue
what-
Lagoon?
There were panties, Dawn.
Yes, but still, that's even troublesome. I don't even want to go down this road, but
Molly Ringwald's growed up, right?
yeah.
Sings jazz.
Mhm. She lives in France.
For real?
You know a lot about Molly Ringwald.
I know a little. I know a little about Molly.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this jacket.
No, that's Kate Winslet. All right. But we are on this is a very ginger intensive episode.
Not by plan.
No, not by plan.
Yeah.
Or design.
Yeah, even the Javelinas were called Reds.
Yeah,
red.
it's true.
It's a very
My
red
face is
episode.
all fucking red from walking in the sun all day.
Is this 198? The red episode,
Yeah,
the red one.
the red wedding.
Talked about blue people that are playing the parts of Native Americans in their story.
Well, you're saying that. I don't know if
That's what come on.
When
The whole thing is
Mitchell and
just-
I saw the first one, we went on mushrooms and we had the time of our lives. We saw it in 3D and the whole planet was like you were inside of a black light poster.
Yeah.
And everything was alive and electric, and it was an amazing experience. We loved it. I couldn't have told you what the movie was about. We couldn't follow what we were laughing too hard. I remember that at one point they said the mineral they were trying to mine was called unobtainium.
Yeah. Wait.
And I thought that Giovanni Ribisi called it that as a joke. And then the next time he brought it up, he said it again. And then I realized that they were really calling the mineral unobtainium. And that was real. And that made me laugh so hard that I really couldn't get.
You cracked the
Back
code
into
on
the
getting
bottom.
some laughs out of a Cameron picture.
Yeah, that's pretty funny, Andy.
Catch it in 3D and be on hallucinogenics, and you will get.
Yes.
Maybe James Cameron is just really subtly hilarious.
But all experiences are enhanced that way. So he's just making content for us.
Mhm.
That's the way to look at it. Who
Well,
cares? what the story's
unobtainium
about?
is not an element, but it is something that I just read
Yeah.
this because I've heard it before. and it's a term that it's a definition. It's something that engineers need, but they don't have, so they use that term unobtainium. But there is no such thing as unobtainium, which is interesting.
There's no such thing as the world of Avatar either.
What was the shit that they were always trying to get in Star Trek that they needed? Like dilithium crystals or something.
Dilithium crystals is what they use to power the ship. Yeah.
That's what Scotty needed. He never had enough of.
Yeah, Scotty could have used some weed or dilithium crystals.
He had to keep that whole hunk of junk running. He had
a rail of dilithium crystals.
Yeah. And he was also in charge of beaming people up and down, which also seems like that should have been two separate jobs.
I wish they would have let.
Yeah, it seems like there'd be another person to do that.
Right. Starfleet should have had that as two separate jobs. That seems like he's pretty overworked.
Go ahead. I was just thinking of a way to make Star Trek better. I mean, if you could go back and just let Sulu be Sulu instead of the drier character that he was, that he's just kind of like that guy in Airplane.
Yeah. You want him to be a flaming homosexual?
Yeah. I want Kirk to get his dick sucked by Sulu, and then, well, those two didn't get along, so but
Sulu, that would have helped. There was an episode where Sulu and Captain Kirk like fisticuffs, or something. Oh, really? Something was controlling Sulu. If I can find a picture of that.
Yeah, they drag Sulu drags Captain Kirk on Twitter now and again.
Yeah.
But he's a feisty old queen.
Yeah.
Well, he was on Stern a lot when Stern moved over to satellite, and he was great. I mean, when it first started happening.
He's fun. He's gotten, well, everybody's gotten more political, but he's pretty funny sometimes with his negative shit.
Yes.
There was Tom, what is it? Atomic Chronoscarf was the he came out with a sword, with a fencing sword to fight Kirk. So maybe that was very cathartic.
Maybe there was some like
that sounds like
action going on there.
That sounds like an exciting episode, actually.
Yeah,
it was probably some alien race that pitted them against each other, right?
Something, yeah. It took
or
over.
Were they fighting over,
Yeah, check this.
I know the music that was playing.
Oh, shit.
Dun, 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 dun. That's what me and my brother were. I don't know if we were reenacting that one, but we were wrestling around and on that playing dun, 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 like Star Trek. And then that's when I got that needle in my foot.
Oh, yeah, right. You stepped on the needle.
No, I got thrown on the needle off of the shag carpet. My mom would just drop a needle and move on with her life.
I only look for so long. It's like loved ones, if you can't.
It'll turn up.
Whose idea was shag carpet and hide fucking needles in it?
I often think of that in a quiet moment while driving or something. I've got hundreds of miles to go, and I'll think of that when Erickson's like, "Who gives up?" Looking for the needle. It's here somewhere.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah, I could have avoided my first surgery if my mom had a magnet.
Or the willingness to just slowly run your arm over the carpet. Like, there it is. There, got it.
Found it.
Found it. Warm up the car.
Yeah,
that's a good episode.
Yeah, it to me like they were like, well, we can't get Bruce Lee, so
well,
and
they didn't need Bruce Lee. They had Sulu.
Little console, and
Sulu had his own way of rendering a man helpless. He didn't need no karate.
He set it on stun.
Sulu could make you lay on your back and slow your breathing.
He knew Shatner's only weakness.
Yeah.
That's why he's winning today.
I got hit on by a guy years ago in Boise, Idaho, and I thought it was Sulu for what he was an older Asian gentleman, and they said I would have no trouble getting my dick sucked tonight, and then it was like, oh, it's a group of gays back then that was, that's what we call
Squadron.
a squadron of gays. Yeah. Like a squadron of javelinas.
Murder.
Yeah. They were just friendly fellas, but I was like, at the time, I wasn't swayed or whatever, but when I thought it was Sulu, like that, it was flat.
Oh, there's a story there.
You're like, wow,
So you
yeah.
really did think it was Sulu.
Yeah.
Thought it was George Takei.
Yeah, I asked Brian, the man, I go, is that fucking Queen Sulu?
So hold on a second. Were
George
you
Takei was in
asking?
Boise, Idaho, hitting on you.
Well, he was there was 3 young men who would have made any old queen get on a plane.
So Andy, were you asking to find out if that was Sulu because you wanted to run and get your autograph book?
Yeah.
Or you
No,
thought
He was
maybe
deciding.
a celebrity dick suck in
Yeah.
Boise would turn this night
Yes.
around?
I need a
No,
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was the
I got
path I was
goosebumps.
on, or I would have, but no, I was like, at first, I was just confused because I thought they were alluding that I could get, but when they said in this group, like I could get the show I had, it was a good show I had, I guess.
Yeah.
And he said,
you
with
should
the
be
show
happy
I
with
had, I'd have no trouble getting my dick sucked by anybody, especially in this group. And that's what, and then I was feeling like,
Wow.
oh, okay. And
You didn't go with that group?
Yeah,
Oh,
it seems
man.
like that'd be
Hang
the
out with
group you'd
them?
hang out with.
it was
Yeah.
those, I couldn't have gotten gay enough to feel comfortable with those guys. They were like gay, happy, cool, muscular, fucking,
Yeah.
sauna gay. And I would have just been like, what's an I'll take an old fashioned. And I kissed the tip of it, but I got a real bad gag reflex.
I'll take it.
And I don't know about this ass stuff either. So that's,
They're like,
I
aren't
would-
you the owner of Rock Bottoms?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, yeah. Now I see where the confusion comes
and sandwiches.
I only worked on
That's
the
the problem.
sandwich
Everyone
side.
always forgets the end sandwich.
Yeah.
That's why we went under. We couldn't make
Yeah,
it. We spent all
our
that
food
money on
costs just
bread.
killing us.
Yeah.
I went to gay camp as a kid, but it didn't really take, It's like I went to
More of a
basketball camp.
dabbler.
Yeah, I went to basketball camp. I'm not playing amateur professional basketball. Oh, I got
Yeah, they don't all hit.
mhm. Camp Humdinger. I didn't get ringworm. That stuck.
That proves you were there. You were out there.
The Camp
Okay,
Humdinger.
Humdinger, that's right.
Yeah, that was where the poor kids went. But I didn't get the camp there. I drove.
No, you got to camp at some strange family's house.
Right. Instead
Yeah.
of going, yeah, I was moving on up. Instead of going to Camp Humdinger, I went to
Oh,
Camp
man.
Spleendingers.
And sandwiches.
Still
And
got
sandwiches.
ringworm.
I remember we used to eat a lot of steak together. We never did the sandwiches much.
Cheese toast.
Mhm. Cheese toast on the side. We're gonna update that movie if you're a listener, Steve, Mr. Spleener. It's gonna happen.
Oh, the movie that Paul Provenza has been working on.
Yeah,
About your,
10 years
your-
odyssey of the story of that. Me confronting the pedophiles who took me to I thought it was a nice dinner, but it was just kind of family style shit. I thought he was rich. He's just fucking lower class
Yeah,
rich.
Yeah, he catfished you.
But he did look like Mr. Drummond. So it's not moving on up. It's different strokes.
Different strokes.
But hopefully I talked to Annie about this is when this thing's out, let's go do a live show premiere of it in Port St. Lucie, Florida, where the pedophile lives.
Is he still alive?
Yeah. He's in better shape than I am. I don't think he said in court, or the
Really,
lawyer.
that would have been the perfect time to put up the picture of Andy laying in the
Yeah,
street.
no, the lawyer in court alluded to that in my recollections that me and Mr. Spleen drank together, or he poured me drinks and we would drink together. The lawyer tried to make a big deal about that, and he said,
his
Mr.
fault. You're
Spleen
like,
hasn't had a drink since 1970, whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, man, I've been drinking alone a long time.
yeah.
But he poured me drinks and I drank them, and he might have had a Pepsi, but claiming sobriety is that was a big deal in court. But
Yeah.
A bartender could be
anything-
sober and pour
Right.
drinks all night long.
yeah, and I don't think I had any inkling for Jack Daniels. In 6th grade, I wasn't like, oh, what's that guy in Van Halen drink? Yeah, give me a bottle of that. He just
I'll
naturally
take a
knew I
David
was-
Lee Roth.
yeah. So
No ice.
I was a whiskey drinker until I started really drinking on my own. It's like, wait a minute, that shit says I started having beers and such.
Well, that guy should be in jail.
Yeah, at the very least, he should be, dragged more, and hopefully that'll
Publicly
happen.
shamed and
Should be
identified.
And that's what hopefully when this thing comes out, he'll be on his, final 5 years, and that'll be what he's fucking stuck with thinking about more.
He might still be abusing people. Probably is.
Well, I mean, it was opportunity back in those days, and I don't know, he has that, but if he does, he
Find
would.
a way.
I'm sure he still gets off on it. I mean, it was his deal. But anyway, so that's I think it's gonna happen. And Annie Letterman's and Doug wants in on this. We're gonna do a backyard green room style show. At Provenza's backyard, he's got a space, or maybe
Are you
something.
announcing something that has
Not really, but we
at all?
no,
And-
it has
We can
not
talk
been.
about this after the podcast.
All right, yeah,
Oh,
it
I
ain't.
thought this was after the podcast.
Oh, I do have an announcement. My the Last Shot comedy thing is going to be released to the public on Friday the 13th of this month on 800-Pound Gorilla's Back,
Oh, nice.
and I will be annoying people with reposting things for a few weeks to
Good for
fulfill
you.
my obligations. But
Good for
it'll
you.
be free.
If you haven't seen it yet, see it.
Yeah, if you've been sitting on it because like $10, man,
No
I
way.
can't be doing. But it'll also put me on their spin, or on in their jukebox. I guess people tune in
Yeah.
to just hear who's on there. So,
That's fantastic.
and I'm sober.
2 days, man. Right on.
And I still feel the physical pain from the fall. So once that subsides, that'll be when I sober.
You go hard, man. You go hard.
Yeah, I didn't know that picture existed, and that's gonna help. That's the kind of thing you hope nobody noticed in the
Which
middle of Main
picture?
Street of me laying in the middle of the road.
Well, didn't you send that to me?
No.
No,
Oh,
how
I
could
got
I have?
that from Hoot.
Yeah.
How could I have taken that picture?
I thought maybe someone took it with your camera.
You're like,
Someone
here,
sent
take
it to you.
this.
Mhm.
Hold this. Watch this.
Yeah. So yeah, there were witnesses to it, and then I was sideways.
Mhm.
But it was great seeing Chad and Greg out there in person, and shit, just getting out and mixing it up and hanging out. I mean, I had a good time. It's just,
That's a good
And I
show
even-
too.
yeah,
Doug
great.
rolled right out 2 out. Like, he did 1:27, I think.
Oh man.
Because he had to cut a bunch of stuff that all the COVID stuff he did last year. So he had to kind of go through. He actually had to fucking do homework and figure out what
Yeah,
he could do. Is all brand new stuff that he did that night. So
Fuck yeah.
I was
Yeah.
terrified for him
Absolutely.
because the night before he told me he's rolling into this show like me. Oh
yeah,
man,
that's-
don't,
yeah.
don't do that.
Oh, he fucking killed it.
Mhm.
He was out there for
Yeah.
2 weeks before the show. So I think Chad, when he saw you, he was very happy to be around people that he knew and, wasn't throwing $2 bills to tip kind of thing.
And Greg didn't get up there, but me and Chad went and saw Sandro and got.
Oh yeah.
we hilarious. He's so great on stage,
Oh,
fantastic.
Sandro and Nikki opened.
And Nikki,
for,
yeah.
For Annie, and
Uh-huh.
because of the fucked up deal with Southwest and all the flights being all fucked up, Annie and Todd had to last minute drive out and they missed their first show, their 7:00 show on Friday night. They got into Vegas too late, so they had to cancel that show and then moved everyone over to the 9:00 show at Wise Guys.
I should have given him my number, Wise Guys, and just in case they can't.
You could have done some time and held the stage till they got there.
Oh man, I was more sober that night, but I'm in no condition until I'm ready to do a comedy. I can't get up and do it. Like, I'm not ready to even like do an open mic yet, but I feel like I will get myself into it. I at least have one more show.
Do you have a plan for how you want to re-enter
The world?
your space?
Well, the only thing I talked to Billy Wayne about doing some gigs with him opening.
No, I'm talking before that. You can't just go like, hey, let's go this weekend. You gotta.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I gotta come up with a whole new, act.
No problem.
But hey, I had
setting up dates, I guess.
Why are you letting that stop you now? It's never stopped you before.
Never stopped you before.
Yeah.
I know. I just got to write like cancer laying in the middle of the street in Vegas,
talking, dude.
And things like that.
Start talking.
So I mean, that's I had some real positive energy leaving Vegas, even though 400 grand stared me in the face and laughed. I said, no, get on.
The Karate Kid.
And I,
the head.
But just I had some good positive energy, and COVID come back. And then I have had a couple of days of being the angriest white man of the race. But I think on the other side of that, I'll still have that creative, positive energy to get moving forward on a few things that are coming up.
Good for you.
I got, I think I told you this, but remember I made up a name of an agent that I put at the comedy special, and there were actually offers, but I never checked that phone on there. So, it's like, hi, we're very interested in hiring Mr. Andrist. What would, be his rate for this and that? Being it like, a year later or whatever. But I never even turned that phone on. But, maybe through being released on the YouTube, somebody will want to hire me to come do some comedy, and I can go, let me talk to my agent, call my agent.
I got a question, Andy.
Yeah.
Why would you put even a number on the special if you didn't plan on at least?
I had a name, Joel Rothstein, or a Jewish cat, and with Tracktown Talent Agency, and he just never materialized. I intended to at least have a recorded message of a guy.
So you went to the trouble of getting a number?
I just wanted to look
like
I
got a burner phone.
Management,
But you had a number. It was real.
Mm-hmm. So I have 2 phone numbers.
You got
one for hookers.
You got a burner phone, not to cheat on your wife, but to you had a Jewish agent
to not answer phone calls and soliciting his business.
We had T-Mobile makes it like I have to have it. I have this.
You're losing money by not having.
I couldn't tell you what that phone number is offhand, but it's right over there.
Yeah, just go watch your special.
Watch the special.
Yeah, it's a direct line.
But my agent, Joel Rothstein, is dead. So if you want to hire me, you'll have to get a hold of me. It's killed by his own greed.
I mean, you could, now that you realize this, Andy, and it's going out there, maybe you should activate that phone voicemail.
You still have
what I need to do is get a charger for it.
It's dead.
Yeah, it's dead. The charger I had.
Boy, we are pre-square one.
Yeah, it's a big piece of shit. But every time I want to remove that phone line, T-Mobile goes, well, that'll actually make your phone more expensive. I don't understand it.
Really?
Yeah. We have 4 lines, because my daughter's on ours or whatever.
Uh-huh.
So 3. Anyway, I don't listen to them either. when they tell
'Cause you're
me.
probably on a
God.
family plan, and for a family
Yeah.
plan, you have to have so many numbers.
Yeah.
So,
Just get rid of T-Mobile altogether and go with another company.
so you
Mhm.
added a line as a joke, and now you can't figure out.
No, I never, I just had to,
Unchanged.
I just had to add in a line, but I put that there. So like people would have a number to call if they wanted to hire me.
Oh,
That would
gotcha.
be a number I could leave a message on. Hello, you've reached Rosenstein's. I must be at the bank or controlling Hollywood.
See, right there, you could have done that.
It's
And
perfect.
then you'd at least have a number
Already
where
Well, I got an offer or 2 offers.
You could think of where your career could be.
Mhm.
Once people realize you've got
Oh God.
representation, you're legit.
That's what it, yeah, that's I did that on my comedy tape CD years ago. I thanked a bunch of Jewish names of people I just made up, but I thank them anyway. I thank them as people and not just Jewish people. I would have put, Changs and other Chos and all that too, to just look like I'm really diversified. But I put a few extra Jewish names, and then I also thanked the pedophile.
What?
They didn't have, it was like I had to fill out a whole thing of thank yous, and I ran out of thank yous. Really, Doug Stanhope, and I guess nobody else has really done anything to help any of this shit. So it's just a bunch of sucking up to people.
Yeah.
So Lisa Young, I thanked her and Doug, and that's about it. Veer, the guy who molested me, and a bunch of Jewish people that I just wanted it to look like I had a well-rounded.
ficticious
Yeah.
friend.
Fictitious.
Right.
Well,
Okay.
some of them were names that were similar to people I grew up with. Like Rodenberg became Rosenberg. So, but it didn't help.
We have to settle on a name
Wait.
at some point because he's had 4
Wait.
names since we've started talking about this.
Mhm. Well, it's like Fletch. It's like Dr. Smith. Yes.
He's the whole character Andy's doing.
I could have got that. Like Doug's done it. That when Doug does his old man, crabby Jewish voice,
Yeah.
that's who I wanted as an agent.
Wait, when he does the Sal Rosenstein jerky
Yeah,
boys?
I guess that's
not
what.
Doug's. That's the jerky boys. Doug's
Right.
doing the jerky boys.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but when we got in that, he totaled that. Well, we got in that car accident.
Yeah.
And-
I'm glad you put it that way.
Yeah, it was none of us were driving,
Yep.
but we got up into an accident, and then Doug was on.
Total the car.
Yeah, totaled the car. And Doug was on the phone with the car rental company all day. Basically, it was not just like the car's,
Yeah.
the car's not coming back situation, but he did that voice, but he was stuck in it all day. He got to be very fatigued. You should please just I didn't know that was the jerky boy.
Yeah.
Man.
He did it. Erickson, he did his own offstage announce to bring himself on.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was kind of in that same
Hilarious.
vein. It was an old person, kind of going into the Jewish voice, but not really. But
Maybe having a diabetic reaction. Shaky. Can I just sit down for a minute? Oh boy.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So happy fucking New Year's.
Yeah.
And oh man, there was a guy that was not twice the size of Chad Shank,
He
but
was
nearly
alone.
double Chad Shank.
King
Oh,
Ryan.
I saw that picture.
Yeah.
It was incredible. It looked photoshopped.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
bought
do
me
you-
a drink. Yeah, I stood right next to him. We
Oh man.
fucking cheers. He was big.
Yeah. He was a lot of fun too. But he come over. Yeah, that
Look at
fella.
that. Look at that.
And I
He looks like one of those pictures people take, like a hunter, where they'll have the bear laid out in front of them dead, and the hunter will be back
They'll
further
fudge it.
to make
Yeah.
it look. Yeah, they'll fudge it to where it looks bigger. It looks like this guy took 2 giant steps forward and Andy stepped back,
Mhm.
but he's really that big. Andy and him are right next to each other.
Yeah, it's like I'm one of them little weasel managers in wrestling.
Yeah, Jimmy the Heart.
Yeah, Jimmy the Heart. He
Mouth of the South.
him and his lady, I don't think it was this night, next night or whatever. And she goes, careful, he's a little wobbly. He's had, or whatever, how she said he's had quite a bit to drink. And I go, wow, I just thought of Paul Bunyan and how like, you know, how many beers would it take to get to where you're wobbly as that fella? Like, you know, 400
drinking for the entire night. Yeah.
But I went with Paul Bunyan and he goes, oh, that's old.
He came into the showroom right when we opened at like 6:30, and I'm still like getting things together, and I'm like posted up at a table in the back so I can see right when people come in. He walks in, I'm like, Jesus, hope he's security. And he comes over and he's got this huge like saran wrap bundle, and it's got like 10 Bibles in it. He just hands them over to me. And I believe his name was Ryan, wasn't it,
Yeah,
Andy?
it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He took the Bibles probably out of a church, just went into a church and stacked
he was
them
doing
up.
shakedowns.
I want all
outside
your
the church.
Bibles.
Yeah.
You know who's
Hanging
selling?
people by their ankles and shaking them till their Bibles
Until
fell out.
Bibles fall out.
Yeah, he's great, dude. But yeah, just feel fucking secure around a guy like that. If you had Chad Shank and him on either side, and there was somebody who was giving you shit,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna sit this one out. But then they would be like, "Hey, he's a dick. He gets what he deserves, man." He didn't seem like a bruiser for other people, but man, that's probably Doug Stanhope's biggest fan, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's somebody who's
Oh, he has to be.
bigger, like whale-sized proportions.
Yeah.
Bigger, rounder.
That's
I
the
don't think-
largest
He's a pretty. That
fan.
guy's pretty. Chad, how tall is that guy? Do you think?
I'd say 7.
I don't know if he's 7.
7 feet tall.
Yeah, he was over 7.
You think
Over
so?
7 feet tall.
He
Oh my
was.
God.
I looked. I looked up to him.
Yeah,
I don't know,
definitely.
quite a bit.
I
mean,
stood
it
next
was-
to, I got a picture standing next to Chris Dudley. I'll have to look at by comparison.
Yeah,
That was
but how
pretty,
many years ago was that? That might have
Who's
been
Chris
before
not
he
that
Dudley?
long ago. He was,
started shrinking.
no, it
He's a basketball
was
player.
about 5 years ago. I told him he
Is
was,
that a comic?
he was an NBA player that couldn't make free throws. He played for the Blazers. But I
was
told him
really
he-
about
What was he
7.
like?
He's like a religious dude. He was at a hospital lobby doing some meet and greet, and I told him he was my nephew's favorite player because he was a diabetic. It was just made up a lie so I could do a quick picture. And then he goes, "Well, how's your nephew?" And I go, "He's dead."
Oh,
But I was,
no.
but he wasn't.
You fucking stolen valor to fucking.
No, my nephew
diabetic
was.
nephew.
But right to the front of the line.
He was dead, and but the nephew wasn't diabetic, and
And he
Yeah.
wasn't a fan of Chris Dudley.
nobody. I
He
mean,
It was all
there couldn't be anybody. There can be a legitimate basketball fan that would be Chris Dudley. You were my guy, because he's just like a defensive guy, not really, and couldn't make a shot and missed free throws. Like he may have been the worst free throw player in the NBA ever. Like he was below
Really?
50%.
Worse than Shaq?
Well, he's below 50. Like he had
That's
more
good
chances
stuff.
to miss. He was like in the 40s, I think. Like,
Wow.
holy fuck, man, straighten it out. But those are I feel I don't know.
White and bad at free throws. That's
Mhm.
tough to overcome.
But I think I think that dude is an equal size with Chris. What's Chris Dudley listed at? 7'2"?
Hold on, let me look here.
Yeah, I was feeling about 7, a little.
6'11".
Really? Okay, yeah, that
About
guy.
7.
Mhm.
Wikipedia.
I'd say right
God.
about 7.
Yeah, so 7-footer.
He's enormous.
It was Erickson. It was definitely a thing where you're like, whoa. Like when he
Yeah,
walked
I mean-
in, whoa, that guy's big.
He had that stack of Bibles like in one hand.
Right.
Oh no, he
Just
handed them to
waving
me like
it
like
around.
someone handed me a cinnamon roll.
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
sliders.
Yeah.
In his hand, it looked like me walking out with that turkey avocado sandwich and Bibles. I'll bet nobody cuts in front of him in line.
Yeah, I was
Nope.
just gonna say, he cuts in front of you and he orders 10 sandwiches and it takes.
Even
him
if there's
an
like 5 people in front of him, the person would be, "Can I help you?"
hour.
I'm looking up, not you.
Yeah, Well, they just start making sandwiches as soon as he comes in.
As soon as he
You
comes
know,
in.
like, oh, everybody go. This is not a drill.
Get on that slicer,
Yes.
Mickey.
That's right.
He's back.
Right.
Yeah. Slice of bread. Yeah, he'd have to go for like a big fucking, like a loaf of, you know, like a Subway size, or make it look like a sandwich. Just a regular sandwich, fucking disappear. Be like, oh, what happened to that sandwich? It's still, oh, there it is. It's still in my hand. But we're not, I'm jealous. I'd like that. If I could, you could do that as a bucket list. I'd like to be his size for a week. Just run amok. I'd do it like I'd go into China shops.
Yeah, what would you do?
I get drunk going to China shops.
To be fair, you don't run very much. And you're that size.
Literally looking up China shops.
Go find.
Why aren't there any China shops in Las Vegas?
I don't know.
At this hour.
Yeah, pawn shop.
Pawn shop's locked up tight. You can't get in here.
Yeah.
He'd be the guy who could take the Samoans that are acting up and just ask him to leave the party, and they'd just go. They'd probably just, maybe not.
The Pacific Islanders usually roll in a crew.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, but they're super chill, right?
well, not when they're a bouncer.
I've seen them.
Well,
I've
they
seen,
got a job to
and
do.
I had no stake in the game, so it was just hilarious to me. But a house party where 3 Samoans were having a good time, and everybody around them wanted them to leave, and they were not leaving. They just like, you know, it was like trying to uproot a tree or something. I wasn't getting involved. I was egging them on. If anything, I was pro Samoan on that one.
Good. Good for you.
Yeah. They're on.
Yeah, they're good. They're good to be friends with. They're good to be friends with when the shit goes down.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're actually pretty fucking
Peacemakers.
laid back and cool. You know,
Oh yeah.
there's a reason a lot of them play football though. They're just fucking scrappy, strong, and they like the
They're
fucking.
enormous.
Yeah, they enjoy the fucking
Why?
violence. It's like, it's not even like, I don't think you'd see some, maybe, I mean, like Jimmy Snooker or whatever, but a Samoan just beat somebody down, but they just like kind of, you know, chucking people against the wall and shit like that if they
Your
have to.
go-to Samoan is Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
Now I think he was a Fiji Island strongman.
Yeah, I think he's a Pacific. I guess that's
Yeah.
Pacific Islander is a Samoan is
Pacific.
someone from Samoa.
yeah.
So
So
you
he's
really-
from a different island, but he
Yeah.
he wrestled.
Hung out with them.
That he had tag team partners that were Samoans.
When he was coming up, he wrestled a lot of Samoans, I'm sure.
Oh yeah,
You know, then he went international.
that guy could party too.
Yeah, he always came off the top.
You go to work, you use a razor blade to slice your head open and bleed out, and then you take that razor blade, clean it up, and chop cocaine and have a good time after. That's how he rolled.
Mhm. Snuka style.
Yep. Snuka style.
All right, we should probably get out of here, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about what we're watching. What we're
I'm going to give my recommendation first, and it is get sober. But I continue to that 1929. Is that it? It's fucking, I really like that.
1923.
23.
The prequel, the second prequel to
Mhm.
Yellowstone.
It keeps getting better. Each episode is
I'm with you, Andy, on that one. I
Mhm.
watched it. I've been watching a lot since I got back home.
mhm.
They're paying them out. You can't watch them all at once, which I think sucks.
Yeah.
But that's probably why that's probably why I got some shit done today. Is
Yeah,
because
yeah.
everything I was
Uh-huh.
watching basically is episodic, week by week, rather than binge watch.
Yeah. I like all the story. There's 3 different story arcs, and I enjoy all of them.
In 1923, it's have you guys, Chad and Brett, have you guys watched it at all?
No, but I know it's the next generation of the Duttons in
Yeah,
the
so-
prequels leading up to Yellowstone.
Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren.
Mirren.
It's weird. They're doing this thing where they're doing a flashback of how they got together while they're doing real time of 1923. So they're going back and forth without much explanation, but you figured it out. yeah, it's kind of cool.
And the Indian school storyline that they didn't even
that's
bring up,
wild.
that one, that one could be its own horrifying show.
That could be a spin-off like
Mhm.
Frasier from Cheers.
But I love seeing a nun get her head
Only
smashed.
about the abuse at an Indian boarding school.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
And I don't,
It's
it
going-
doesn't, there's no way to know how it ties into the Dutton.
No, it's
story,
going
you know.
somewhere.
it's
That's the
going
thing
somewhere.
is that you're
guys are
juggling like
in.
you're juggling three arcs and one of the flashbacks. So that's helping the story now to understand where they came from. But that nun and the Indian boarding school, they kind of tipped it on episode 3, where the grandmother goes into the Indian Affairs office. So you think there's something's going to happen with that. And then, three's crazy. The episode with the with all the on the way back to the ranch.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to give it away.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Don't fuck with a sheep herder.
Well, see, now you're.
That's just a tip off.
that's more than I would have said, but yeah, I think Andy was restrained in what he was doing as much as he could be.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I mean, the episodes refers to
stop. So that's 1923 on Paramount. I agree with Andy on that one.
It's got it. Does it have titties and jokes in it?
No, but Nicolas Cage is on Nicolas Cage is on LSD in one of the episodes.
Oh, really?
That's an Easter egg, though. You gotta really look for that.
That does sound good now.
I'll watch that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's weird that you guys would say that because my recommendation, and I guess I was watching the wrong show with a year as the title because
I know what you were watching.
I watched 1899, 24 years earlier than that. A bunch of people got onto a boat and it got weird after that. So
and then it got canceled.
So it was really good. I was really surprised by that.
It was worth watching.
The same people that did Dark. Season? I fucking loved it. I thought it was great. Here's the cool thing about 1899. All these people are on this boat. They're all from different countries. They all speak their own languages. So they all actually speak their own languages in the movie. So when you're watching the movie, you can't watch it dubbed into English. You have to watch it with all of the people speaking the languages they actually speak,
with
and having what they're saying be captioned underneath. Because there's all these mix-ups that happen because people can't understand what they're saying to each other. Because they all speak different languages. And it was a trip.
It looked interesting.
Is that a limited show series?
They're on a steamliner across the ocean, and they realized that the last steamliner that went before them was lost at sea with nobody knew what happened to it, and it just completely disappeared. And then all of a sudden, they get a signal from it, and they have to go investigate to see if that's really it. And it takes off from there. And I thought it was great. It was the same people that did the show Dark, which was the best piece of science fiction I've seen in years and years and years. So I was disappointed that it got canceled. But the first season even worked as its own story arc, as its own thing. Still wanted to watch it. It doesn't have Dame Helm.
Oh, hello, buddy.
Our second guest.
Be a guest.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
She's listening.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Does she have a recommendation?
I thought we were going to get introduced to the puppy.
Mine is definitely not something I guess that you think that I would recommend, and people might roast me over it, I guess. But you got to look at it with an open mind. Watch it from a nostalgic perspective, and don't be such a dick about it, is what I'm trying to say.
Wow, this is an awesome lead-in.
Yeah. Now this, Chaille,
Jenny and I have watched all of it, and we're enjoying it. It's fun. But you got to watch it from a childlike perspective. Willow, the new series on Disney.
They started Willow back up.
Well,
Yeah.
they created a series
There's
based
a
on that.
series,
I mean, it's based
but it
around
has
the
a
little
bunch
guy.
of the old actors.
Yeah.
So it's you know, it's, and they I mean, there's a whole bunch of negative shit. They really try to force a female, you know, lead and different type of shit that's lame, but it's you can pick
Woke
apart
Willow.
anything, but
4 stars.
it's fun, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a fun romp through your childhood memories.
I could use a romp.
Yep.
I didn't buy one in Vegas, but I definitely a midget romp. Nice. What is that on, Chad? Is that on the Disney?
Disney.
Yeah. So
I'm quarantining again for another 5 days.
Yeah, well, a fun romp is as good a place to end as any.
Yeah.
So, thank
This
you
has been
guys. We love you.
This has been a fun
Join our
romp.
Patreon if you haven't done that. If you're watching us on YouTube, we have a Patreon, just $5 a month, and it's patreon.com/issueswithandy. Very simple. And we just do this, but we do it more often, and we do it with guests sometimes. So we'd love to see you over there as well. If not, we still love you, and we'll be right back here next week doing it again. See ya.